Okay, let's unpack this truly bizarre scenario. Imagine a romantic dinner, everything seems perfect, and then bam, a vampire appears.
Uh-huh.
But the real shocker, the thing we need to talk about, isn't the fangs, it's why the vampire just leaves.
Right. It turns out a terrifying bloodsucker can be, well, put off by something far more human and, frankly, much uglier than, like, a crucifix.
Exactly. What on earth could possibly lead to that? That's our deep dive today.
And we're looking at a piece of fiction here, but honestly, even in fantastical stories like this, you find some sharp, maybe uncomfortable truths about people under pressure.
You really do. So picture this couple, David and Emma. They're having this seemingly ideal romantic meal.
Yeah, delicious food, soft candlelight, the perfect music playing, David's feeling, on top of the world.
All those old doubts, the pain from past relationships, gone. He's ready. He's going to propose.
And setting up this picture of perfect happiness is really crucial, I think, for understanding how things unravel later on.
Totally. He's got the ring. The moment feels almost magical, but then the mood shifts.
Ah, the strange figure in the corner.
Yes, just sitting there, still, menu not even open, and his eyes are just locked onto them.
It's that classic creepy feeling, isn't it? Being watched. That primal sense that something's wrong, even if you can't name it yet.
And it hits David immediately. He gets nervous, suddenly needs to go to the restroom.
Right, it just shatters that romantic spell for a second. And that little pep talk he gives himself in the mirror. She's crazy about you.
Ah, yeah.
Says a lot, doesn't it? Like he needs that extra bit of reassurance before taking the plunge. Maybe hints at some insecurity deep down.
That's a really good point. Is that a crack, maybe, that just widens later when things get intense? Because then comes that unsettling encounter right outside the bathroom.
A tall, pale man. Cold eyes, strange accent.
And he asks that really weird, cryptic question, which one?
Which David completely misunderstands. He thinks the guy's telling him off about which restroom to use or something.
It's almost funny, in a dark way, this totally mundane mix-up right next to this
Yeah.
looming supernatural threat.
It really highlights how focused David is on the surface, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
completely oblivious to the real danger sizing them up.
So oblivious. He goes back to the table, still planning the proposal, no idea that he and Emma have just been, well, assessed, targeted.
And then Emma says yes, and you get this super sweet scene in the taxi home.
Oh, yeah. The loving conversation, planning the future.
And those phrases they share, sharing, caring, loving, giving. It's almost like lines from a script.
It does feel a bit like that. Is it genuine deep connection, or are they kind of performing the happy couple role?
That's the question, isn't it? It feels almost too perfect.
And that perfect little bubble, it bursts the second they get back to their building.
Because he's there again,
Ah.
in the shadows.
Waiting, and asks the same chilling question again. Which one?
And then he sees the light go on in their third-floor window. Confirmation. He knows where they live now.
And we get that glimpse into his mind, just a predator, many corners, many victims. It's not personal, it's just routine for him.
What's really disturbing is his method for getting inside.
Yeah.
Pressing all the buzzers.
Yeah.
Exploiting that everyday trust we have, Thinking it's just a delivery person. It's a stark reminder of how vulnerable we can be.
Definitely. And his thought about anticipating the sweetest blood from young love. Ugh, it's
Yeah.
just grimly ironic, especially knowing what's coming.
Right, because inside, they're still wrapped up in their own little world.
Emma says something like, I feel like I'm in a film.
And David replies, more like a dream. They're talking about how lucky they are.
He's complimenting her hair, saying it smells like roses, calling her an angel, all this flowery stuff.
Right before the nightmare crashes in.
Because suddenly the door just flies open.
And there he is, sharp teeth revealed. The dream is just shattered.
Terrified screams, then silence. It's classic horror setup.
But what happens next is anything but typical. The vampire actually enjoys their fear, believes it makes the blood sweeter. It's a truly monstrous viewpoint.
Human instincts do kick in, though, even if they're flawed. David immediately offers his wallet.
Which is totally useless against it.
And the vampire's reply is chilling. I will take anything I want. It just hammers home the powerlessness.
Then David promises not to stop him.
Yeah.
Just pure terror talking. Any heroism is gone in that moment.
And then they both see it. Together. The teeth. They understand what he is.
That shared moment of horrifying realization.
Then the vampire lays it out. Which one? It can be. Only one.
Yeah, he spells it out. He's already fed 3 times tonight. They're just the final top-up. He needs to sleep and feel young again.
So this forces the impossible choice. And David initially reacts how you might expect. He steps in front of Emma.
The protective gesture. Emma seems grateful, relieved even.
But then we hear David's inner thought. He's not just being brave, he's actively looking around for a weapon.
So that heroic impulse is immediately kind of complicated by self-preservation. It's not
Yeah.
pure sacrifice.
Not entirely. And then Emma says something truly stunning about David offering himself because he loves her so much.
Which completely wrong-foots David. He's like, what?
And she clarifies, almost coldly, that it's just one of our options.
Oh, that is jarring. It suddenly sounds so transactional. Or maybe just desperate. What does that say about how they actually communicate or what they think love means under pressure?
It just completely falls apart from there. The argument that breaks out is, well, it's brutal.
David actually suggests Emma should offer herself up.
Yeah. And then come the accusations. You don't really love me. You're so selfish.
The specific lines are so cutting, too.
Yeah.
David feeling like she wants to marry him, but would throw him to the vampire like a bone to a dog.
And Emma hurt, throwing back those earlier compliments, the roses, the angels saying they meant nothing.
And they're having this incredibly petty, selfish fight while a literal monster is standing there waiting to kill one of them.
The absurdity is just dark. You almost want to laugh, but it's horrible.
Even the vampire gets annoyed. He came for fear and, sweet blood, not this.
Right. He calls it a silly, selfish argument. He's losing patience.
His demand, must drink, just snaps everything back to the terrifying reality. Yeah, but the damage between David and Emma is done.
And then the final, truly shocking moment, the vampire booms. Which one?
His eyes wide, teeth bared.
And they both answer at the same time, pointing at each other.
David yells, pointing at Emma, her! She's younger, sweeter!
And Emma screams, pointing right back, him, please, him, he's bigger, there's more of him.
Oh my God, it's just complete betrayal on both sides. All that talk of sharing, caring, loving, out the window, pure, naked self-preservation.
It's this awful, stark exposure of who they really are when stripped bare. The romance just crumbles to dust.
And the vampire, this ancient being who's seen it all, he's disgusted.
He doesn't even feed. He just looks at them and declares bad blood.
It's such a powerful condemnation. Not just bad for drinking, but fundamentally flawed characters.
And then, poof, he's gone. Vanishes into the night.
Leaving David and Emma standing there, alone.
Together, as the story says, as they had promised for the rest of their lives.
But can you imagine the silence? The weight of what just happened, what they said, what they did.
Exactly. The encounter stripped away every illusion, revealed a really uncomfortable truth about them.
So it leaves you, the listener, with some heavy questions, doesn't it?
It really does. What does this dark, fictional tale really tell us about love? About fear? About that instinct to survive at all costs?
Do we ever truly know ourselves or even our partners until we face something truly extreme?
And for David and Emma, is their happy ever after even possible now? Or is it forever poisoned by what they discovered about each other and themselves in that single terrifying moment? Something to think about.